Hi, this is Patty Hodge at Dr. Nurses Rock. And you will recognize my one of my very special guests today. Amy Frost has been here two times throughout the grief series that we did the month of April. And Michael Thrower is here today for the first time. Michael is wearing a grief police sign because we're going to talk about grief again. And Michael is a founder of Community Connect, which is an organization in Las Vegas and oversees lots of things, including one organization called Adopt a Cop. So today we're going to delve into a couple of topics, I guess, but let's start somewhere. So Michael, since you're new here, give us
hmm
give us a picture of what's going on.
So, so Community Connect was started as a mentoring organization where we mentored youth in the community. From there, it just kind of graduated and bloomed into where it is today and where we are now. We set up prayer partners for officers, firefighters, veterans, first responders, and healthcare workers. All right. And so in that process, obviously all those areas are areas of where people are actually dealing with people that are either grieving or their grief themselves. And so our responsibility is just to pray for them and to support them in whatever they're going through and make sure that they have the services. So what Community Connect does is it is a center for all of the resources that are in the community. So if you come to our site, you'll see that there is a resource page, but you'll also see that we are encouraging, we're inviting them to our conferences. We have a conference that's coming up in November. Our model this year is stay in the fight, stay in the fight. And so we hope that we continue to do increasingly better every year. This is our second year doing this conference at this scale, which is a tremendous undertaking. Again, taking on all the different areas that we have. But yeah, it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a up and down journey. It's been a challenging journey, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other kind of way. You know, the challenges, the obstacles, but the people involved that I meet, like people like you, Patricia, and definitely Amy. Amy has been with me probably since day one of a lot of stuff that I've gone through. So it's just the people that you meet and the challenge that you have. It just molds you into being who you are today. And so I love it. Love it.
Well, I'm going to say that I love you for doing that, and that this is helping so many people. And
Sorry, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this kind of regularly because I have a big window in front of me, and so I can see my entire warehouse here. So,
And the grief police,
and
he's got
I'm
to
the
be
grief
waving at
police.
grief on a regular
yeah, you
basis,
gotta you gotta say as
I
people
gotta
go
wave
by, yeah, you gotta let them.
because I'm pulling everybody over today. Everybody's gonna get a ticket. Everybody. I don't care who you are. You're
So
dealing
what
with
would the
grief.
ticket
You're getting a
say?
ticket.
What would the ticket say, Michael?
The ticket would say whatever their grief is,
Oh,
whatever they're
Oh.
grieving, the
okay.
situation that
Yeah,
they need to come into court and they need to deal with it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, listen, there's all of those people that you listed
Uh-huh.
are people that are giving so much of themselves as it is. And when some kind of grief hits or some kind of stressor hits, they need a soft place to land,
Right.
and they need a safe place to work out whatever is going on.
Here's the challenge. The challenge is that these groups that we work with are groups that are probably the most challenging to get them to open up.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
officers, firefighters, veterans, first responders, it's just so tough to get them to open up and to let go because they're there to help other people,
That's right.
right?
Right there, it's such an alien concept. What do you mean I'm
Right.
supposed to get help?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm here to help. I'm not here to be grieving myself. And so sometimes they never have the opportunity to actually grieve a situation that they've gone through. And so we just want to provide a safe place for them to do that.
Right.
And our conference is one way that we're doing that. We want to provide an area to where even if it's been a year, even if it's been 2 years, it's never too late to grieve, and
Well,
we
for some
just,
people, it's a lifetime. They
it's a
enter
lifetime.
into the profession because they've had experiences that were grievous and that they
Uh-huh.
wanted to help correct. That's one of the things that I learned throughout the series is that
Okay.
the person who's wounded is the one that's really out there trying to help other people with,
Oh man, yeah, I
is
see it
that,
every day.
yeah. So
Yeah.
And nonprofits are started because of something that happened, usually.
that's right.
Right.
That's right.
But
And
some people don't even realize that they even had that they even didn't even grieve about a situation.
right.
They don't realize that they have some hidden unresolved grief in their life. And so when you get around other people and you finally are able to let your guard down, and then there's actually somebody in front of you that you actually trust, and they're trying to get to, go below the iceberg and not just talk to you from the top of the iceberg, but actually are willing to go low with you and figure out, hey, what's going on? All of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, I've I didn't realize that situation I never dealt with before. We had that happen multiple times in our conference. I mean, we had in the group that I was in, and I know Amy had the same experience too. I mean, we had vendors in our sessions too. We weren't letting the vendors just sit back and play on their phones. They came up as well, and everybody in there, not that we're trying to make anybody cry, but they were all shedding tears, but it was the tears of joy that they actually have addressed a grief that they had that they really have never addressed and never knew they had. Right.
And so much of it, like with, police and veterans, healthcare workers, we had some hospice people who came because a lot of people don't understand hospice.
Right.
And
Hmm.
they not no were the experts, but they also came and shared their own grief. And
Yeah.
that was so lovely. And great that you're an expert on this, but what about your own experience and how can we support you?
Right.
Well, once you open that
Ooh, that
place,
box. Yeah,
yeah. So what happens with that? With
that's a
follow,
really great question. So I
okay,
think it's like great to open Pandora's box.
right.
But then, and for us, it's really important that we are bring in trusted resources. And
Hmm.
then we have like I have the Women's Fun Day, which I've talked about before. That's part of Adopt a Vet for me, and that's part of Community Connect. I've been doing that over 3 years now, and that's a place where they can come and they can talk and get resources. And I think I've shared with you we a lot of other things have grown out of that, other groups, other activities, other things. And so that's what's really important to us. Yes, let's start these conversations, but no, it's not over. It's not done.
Hmm.
It's ongoing.
It's just the
Right.
beginning. Yeah, it's
It's
Yes.
just the
just the
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah.
And the resources. I mean, even me as a chaplain, so I'm also a chaplain for Border City Police Department and also Clark County School District. And so my job is to make sure that there are enough resources in the community or that I have access to resources in the community to be able to direct them to. And so I'm definitely not the expert on grief, but there are counselors obviously here in Vegas that I can reference or and refer them to, and that's why our organization is just so important that we find these organizations that are doing great work in the community and that are willing to be resources for this specific group of our professionals that we work with.
And I like to say my job these days is being a hope provider for hope providers.
Yes.
But part of that is opening that space to not be so freaking hopeful.
Yeah.
You just, you know what? I say right now, this is what's happening. And what one of the things that we are seeing happening, and I'm so happy about because we've been on this road for a long time, that now people that are out there doing it for everybody else are reaching to us when they're struggling
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big,
before they go down.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now, going down and staying in the fight, there's something there. What's happening there? Can you talk?
Well, I mean, that's the idea, stay in the
Yeah,
fight, because it is a battle.
yeah.
Either you're a spiritual warfare or you're challenged with something else in your life that is um, preventing you from having a whole life, mind, body, soul, and spirit that are entwined. And so if there's one part of that that's not in line, you're going to have challenges. So our job is to find out, what is it? Where do you need? Because you can send people to different resources, but you got to send them to the right resource,
That's correct.
right?
And keep an eye on them. You got
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
and
keep
keep
an
an
eye
eye
on
on
them.
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and keep an eye on them because if even if we have the resource, it may not be the right one for that person. It may not be the right one for their situation, right? And it may not be the right one for that particular profession either. So we want to make sure that we line them up correctly with the right groups and the right organization so that they are successful in their processing of their grief if it's something that we cannot do ourselves, you know, because mostly I found to help people with grief, it's just to listen. That's it.
yeah.
I mean, sit there and listen. Shut your mouth, open your ears. I've done that, and I've had people say, "Oh my gosh, Chaplain Michael, you are great." And I was like,
The best advice ever.
You are great at keeping your mouth shut.
"Yeah, basically."
Right. I didn't say anything, but you really think changed your life. And like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know
but
that from
yeah,
my profession because I did that for many decades, really, was really listening and hearing what was on the hearts of people that were struggling and
right,
suffering with mental health problems. And it's not just mental health. Your body is connected to your mind and your spirit, and we can't undo those connections, the emotions, the body, all of that. So
right.
this is part of what this channel is about. And so I now am a little part of your mission by knowing who you are and what that's about. And hopefully I can help you grow that. Um, is there
I
some,
hope so. I hope
yeah,
so because what you're doing, Patricia, is bringing awareness to stuff like this, and awareness is so important, because even though there's been more and more, I think people are coming out, it's still that older crowd that are not accepting it yet. I don't need to say anybody about this. I don't, I put on my big boy pants and I'll just keep on going. But then there's the younger group who are realizing that they need to address the challenge that they have. And hopefully we can influence some of the older ones to start, stepping up and doing the same thing too, so that it becomes part of our culture again, that we look out for one another, that we see that if someone is actually going through something, that it just needs to be addressed. It doesn't mean that they're a problem or that they're a problem employee. It just means that there's something that's going on in their life that they need to address and they need to take care of in order for them to be at full strength, right? And we want everyone to be healthy. And when we say healthy, like I said before, we're talking about mind, body, soul, and spirit. We
yes.
want to make sure. So, so as being the part of the grief police, I'm always looking when somebody when my officers have or my firefighters or veterans have gone through something, it's important for me to check in and say, hey, how are you doing? And if they just say fine, of course, I can't leave it there, right? It's like, okay, so what does fine look like to you?
Today.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to dive into it. And that's the thing, nobody really wants to let you in until they find out how much you really care about them.
That's
Right.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you just sit there and you just let them go with hey, I'm doing fine. It's like, then really, are you really helping, or are you helping them to make that iceberg even bigger?
Oh, that's a good point.
You
Wow.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
that top slides down.
Mm-hmm.
there's
Wow.
so much pain that people carry.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize how heavy it is until you try to release some of it.
Well, I think Bryce, right, so much of it is that fear. Oh my gosh, if I start feeling, where do I stop? And
Yeah.
will I be able to function if I
Yeah.
start feeling?
And not functioning is a hard thing. You have to make a
Hmm.
living,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it's not only that, it's you have to live with yourself,
Oh my,
Right.
yeah.
right? So there's also a whole lot of guilt that comes around with grief and
Yeah.
sometimes shame, sometimes fear, all kinds of other emotions attach themselves to this grief situation that people are in, or memories. It attaches itself to earlier griefs. and then it becomes a cumulative thing. And when you're talking
Uh,
about first responders,
mhm.
okay, healthcare profession, the people that I have seen, the average person on the street does not see en masse, like several people a day, every day of the week have to deal with that
Mhm.
kind of thing. Police
Right.
also walk into situations where they're seeing things that the average population is not dealing with, hard things, very difficult experiences, just as
Yes.
veterans have in war situations. So there's no, your body doesn't make that distinction between, oh, this was a war situation, or this is, I walked into a household where something terrible happened.
All right.
Still the same experience. Your body is processing that in a similar way. And
Mhm.
so, however we can help people to get through that and stay whole, I'm all for that.
Mhm.
And it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yes.
And Amy, I would not have met you unless Amy said, you have to meet Michael.
He zooms in.
Oh, okay. You said Amy said so like that. Well, okay.
I listen to
Amy
Amy. If
Faye.
she said, when Amy speaks, we listen.
Oh,
So I just stole somebody's mantra from years ago, right? That
I
whatever
Yeah.
love that.
that
I love
agency
that.
was.
Yeah.
So you also do. I don't want to leave the topic too soon because there's probably plenty to delve into, uh,
Hmm.
and maybe we have to do part 2 or 3 or 50. Maybe you'll come back a number of times and let us know what's going on.
Hmm.
I know you two do the AM munch together, so I want to put a little plug in there for you.
All right. I'm gonna let Amy talk a little bit about the munch, and then I'm gonna jump
Okay.
in.
The munch.
The
Yeah.
munch.
So Michael and I have been working together, I don't know, at least 12 years, maybe longer than that.
Hmm.
And we have these amazing conversations and we, trying to support people not only in Nevada, but all over the country is like, how do we do that? And so we'd like, well, why don't we just start recording these conversations? And we kind of challenge ourselves. We just kind of pick a word. And we ask other people to pick a word. And like this afternoon, we're going to be doing patience. And I don't know about that. I'm just, patience. Okay. But in that, our relationship has always been good, but I feel like it's really deepening because we honor each other's opinion, whether we buy into it or not, and have these lovely conversations. And so the intention is to be inspiring and supportive, and they're only 10 to 15 minutes. And so
Right.
we do them weekly. And so I'm really honored to do that. And we want more conversations. One of the things that we want to talk about at the conference, and probably we'll be munching on along the way, is how to fight fair.
Right.
Ooh,
Because
Right.
that's part of it. And again, we've been working on some really intense things for a really long time, but we've
yeah.
never attacked each other. It's about how do we deal with the issue. And if we've got something with each other, we will look at that. But knowing we both come from intention of doing good and being kind,
Yes.
and I think we forget about that when we get in the heat of battle, and also I want to come back to with the conference, staying in the fight. Staying in the fight is also sometimes knowing I need to retreat.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And I think that topic was going to be a great topic to bring up at the conference and stuff. And just jumping back on the munch thing, it's like we don't always have the opportunity, again, like Amy was saying, to talk to everyone that's in our group, and everything. And so we thought, how can we be more broad and actually open it up and make it comfortable for someone to listen in when they're ready to listen in, knowing what the topic is and knowing who we are opens the door for us to be able to share a certain topic that maybe they just want to know a little bit about. And again, the munch is about not giving them everything, but giving them enough to where they are interested in saying, I got to learn more about this crisis. I got to learn more about having patience. I got to learn more about this and that. And they had good points and stuff like that. And so that's what we want to do. We want to whet their appetite and see if it actually brings them in to be able to want to talk more about the challenges that they're having.
And we're finding that's happening. We
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
we are getting feedback that is happening. And Patty, I want to go back to the quote from your friend that I just
Mhm.
love, love, love,
Yes, I
love.
know. I was
Right? You're
thinking
with me,
that.
right? You can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink, but you can make them thirsty.
That's
So
correct.
that's we munch That's an appetizer to make
Well,
them
you're
feel.
planting seeds with that's what you're doing. You're doing all kinds of biblical things there. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I really do. I wonder if there's, like, what is the biggest challenge or worry that you have when you're dealing with people that are really in crisis that don't know how to talk about what's going on? Is there something that weighs heavy?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I think if and I can only speak from my personal experience, that if I never get the opportunity to encourage them to make a right decision,
Okay.
Mhm.
to give them the right coping skills and stuff. And so just being personal and sharing something about someone that I once knew, very close friend, business partner, and um, and he committed suicide.
Oh Lord.
And he committed suicide. And I remember another chaplain told me, he said, Chaplain Michael, I said, for me, I was like, I don't know why he didn't talk to me. Why didn't he come to me? And why didn't he share it with me? And why didn't he tell me that he was going through what he was going through? And I couldn't, because I've never had that happen before. And so I've studied suicide. I've taken a bunch of classes in it. It's been part of our program for a while, but I've never been on the side where it's been somebody very close to me and they were contemplating it, and I never saw the signs that I studied inside out. Right?
Those roads.
He wasn't doing this, wasn't doing this, he wasn't doing this. He was very attentive, doing it, very active, wasn't selling off stuff or anything like that. So, um, the chaplain told me, he said, Michael, he didn't tell you because he knew you would talk him out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it felt
Right, right. Well, and
bricks.
I just let me dive into to this, and so
Okay.
Michael and I have been good friends for a really long time, doing really good work together. He called me right as everything was going down, thank you,
Hmm.
and talked to
Hmm.
Ross and I'd
Uh-huh.
never heard him that upset,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which kind of scared me a little bit because it's like, oh my God, can I really be here for this amazing man who's now disappeared?
Yeah.
Right.
Come back, Michael.
Come back, Michael. So that brought up again some of my grief, of people I've lost in different ways or haven't been
Yes.
able to reach, and things happened. And so for me, it was, I know, there you are, you're back. You keep disappearing on us. Ugh, that's giving me some grief. I'm gonna have to give you a ticket.
Stay with
I'm
us.
gonna
Stay in
ticket
the fight here.
you.
Stay in the
So I
fight.
don't know
Stay
if
in the
you
fight.
realize that, Michael, but when that was happening, I mean, I just relied on my, what I knew to do and who
Yeah.
I was and our friendship. But can I be here for somebody I care about so deeply who's in so much pain?
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah. I'm sorry, Michael.
No, and it was funny how it was brought to me, and how I had to find a way to process that. And I think the best teacher um uh for stuff like grief and suicide and a lot of other challenges that we have is life. You know, and the problem is that nobody wants to have anyone commit suicide in their life.
That's right.
Nobody wants them to hate them or talk about them or whatever the case may be. But that's that's the best teacher in life, and those become the best advocates for those particular fields. If you notice anyone who is on top of their game for suicide prevention, they've been through it. Those that are in top of their field for addiction, they've been through it. And so experience is the best teacher. And so those experiences we have to embrace. That's why I said it's more important to go through it so that you have that experience. And now that you have that experience, you can actually help someone get through it because you've
That's
been
right.
through it. It's easier to talk to someone about something that you've been through and that you've been challenged with it, and you made it. You made it. And now that you made it, you have to help somebody else make it too.
That's right. That's right. You stay in the fight.
You stay in the fight.
because you have that experience,
Yeah.
and because you know the pain of it, and because you're human, and you
Yeah.
want to make sure that we all get through this together. Yeah.
Hmm.
Michael, that was a difficult story, I'm sure, to tell, and I'm grateful that you felt safe enough to talk about it here. The there the Columbia University, I'm sure you have their information about how to recognize someone that's contemplating suicide.
Trying to suicide, yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
can put a link to that for
Oh, that would be
people
great.
down
Oh yeah.
below. I can put a suicide hotline number down there, obviously along with your Adopt a Cop and your Community Connect and all those other links that you would like to provide. Um, yeah, because we want people to hear it. The world is better with you in it.
Hmm.
And I
Oh
want to
yeah.
just want to start with the whole with suicide, a couple of
Yeah,
things. That there tends to be people say, "Oh, somebody I really counted on," like the person he's talking about. That
Hmm.
some but well, if he can't do it, then why am I still here? So there's that. So being mindful when somebody who's pivotal, a hope provider in the community,
Hmm.
goes down, it can affect other people. So we kind of have to do that watch. But it's also the grief of somebody who's lost somebody. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, she's in her 20s, and she was telling me when we talked about this topic that she's had friends that have attempted suicide and how that affected her and how it's
Mm.
affected their relationship. How close do I get, right? You know? So it's like I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of things with grief and suicide that we don't talk about.
that's right.
Right.
That's right. So this is another podcast, it seems,
I
to
think so.
follow up with, because it's a huge topic. It's a hard topic, um, and people need to know that it's about what's going on inside that human being,
Uh-huh.
and we have only so much control over what's going on in the next
Right.
person, and we can only be present. And I've had the experience, unfortunately, in my career, I'm working with mental health, of having to deal with that situation and the worry that comes out of that. As you said, why didn't I see that?
Hmm.
Did I
Having
say the right thing? Did I
did
say
I
the wrong thing? Did I?
Yeah, and what we could how could we have been proactive? And there are
Right.
ways to be proactive, but we're not all experts, and even the experts miss it.
Well, like, and
Yeah.
then like to Michael's point, he
That's
knew
right.
how good he was at it, and so he wasn't
That's
going to give him a chance to
Yeah,
do what he does so well.
yeah. And so let's
Okay.
hope that despair, um, people recognize that despair is temporary. Right.
Yeah.
And if they're willing to share that deep despair with the right people, that everyone wins, that we move out of this without someone wanting to exit prematurely in a way that's going to hurt everyone around them as well.
And I just want to
Yeah.
throw out, please go back to maybe be patient with yourself, but watch the 30-day process that Patty has created on grief. I know a lot about grief in many directions, but let me tell you, I learned a lot. And so I would highly recommend going back and looking at those. Maybe not one every day.
Right.
Listen to yourself. You get support when you're going through that, but there's so many resources in that 30-day process.
It was an amazing process, and I feel so blessed and honored that somehow I said the angels worked overtime in sending all the right people to make that work. And we'll see what the next process is about, right? What the next 30-day thing will be about. Maybe you'll be part of that too, since you're
Well, I would be honored, and you got to have the grief police there for sure.
the grief police.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
if we feel like we've touched on what we need to touch on today, we can say bye for now.
Yeah, bye for now. And I definitely want to grab this one and do grief and suicide again and whatever other topics he wants to
Yes,
do.
and I would like for everyone who is listening, if you're new to this channel, you can look at the welcome video to see that this was formed in the beginning of 2025 as a response to what was happening in the world. And I wanted to put out information that was evidence-based and supported self-care.
Hmm.
And it has grown substantially in what we've been producing as far as information for people. And that I've had so many professionals willing to come on and be part of the program here, people who have been willing to talk about easy things, hard things, all kinds of things. And if any of this content has helped, please hit the subscribe button because that just helps the channel to grow. It doesn't
Right.
cost you anything. There's no commitment. It just says, "Oh, we liked it." Share the video with someone who needs the information. Leave a
Yeah.
comment. All of that helps this to tell us what interests you, what is helping you, what you want more information about. So,
Yeah.
yes,
Because it could just be one thing that either you have said or Amy have said that triggers someone to say, yeah, I need to step up and I need to get help. You
yes,
know? And we
yes,
never know what that one thing is either. So
You never, never
that's why
know.
I thank you for having this platform for us to be able to share about grief and to talk about it and realize that, even as a person that is serving others, we still have to have, time to grieve situations too. And like I said, the professionals that we work with, sometimes they don't address them, but they take on all of those grieving situations that everybody else is going through, and then one
yes,
day it's like, again, being shaken up, and then all of a sudden, it's like somebody pops their cap and they look crazy, and they're like, people are like, what's wrong with Amy? She's she's
She's
usually
not
very
happy.
level-headed. She's usually very level-headed, but now she looks kind of, and it's because Amy has never let it go. She's never
yes,
just got
yes,
off her chest. And so again, it could be how I look. It could be because of how you look. It could be because of how my voice sounds.
yes.
It could be because of your size or my size. You never know what it is that triggers people to say, you know what, I have to talk to this person, or I have to listen to this person. This person sounds intelligent to me, because I know I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best talker. I'm not the best. I don't feel like I'm the best at anything, but I am someone that just cares, you know.
Yes.
And all I can do is just be the best person that I can be in my community, and not try to outshine anybody, but to still be a light in the community, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
And I,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that and totally resonate with that.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have met you. And I'm so grateful that you took the time out to be with us today. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely waiting for you to come back.
All right.
All right. So you let me know. I'm not going to say, I will not chase after you, but I will wait for you to
Oh,
say,
I will. I'll
okay,
bring him back. Yes, I
I'm,
will.
I'm ready to
Don't
come back.
make me give you a ticket, okay?
I can
All
outrun you.
right. I'm gonna read the police.
And check out the AM Munch.
For
So,
All right.
sure.
okay, thanks so much for being here and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.